Here we go.
Hands. Hands is a weird subject in the art community. It's like a slur, you can say. It's like saying the N word, but worse. A lot of artists get intimidated by hands. But let me tell you, if your hand drawing IQ is high, it can make any bad art look good. And vice versa. If everything else in your art looks good, the composition, the colors, but your hands look like shit, then it will drag down your whole drawing from an 8 to a 4. So I want to break that cycle of fear of drawing hands. So that's what this video is about. Me showing you how to draw hands. Hope you enjoy. Here I'm going to show you how I draw hands now at the current time before I start the challenge. I start with a circle, roughing it out a little, and then I draw the little box. I don't know if this box has an actual name. I don't know what you call it. I just call it the box. Then I draw the little, like a little indent for the thumb, because the thumb is always protruding out from the palm. And then after that I draw 4 circles to emphasize the beginning of the fingers where they will start. Then I use the middle finger as an anchor point because I know that's going to be the tallest out of all the fingers, so I use that as a guide. And after the tallest finger, they usually all go down. So because I'm using the middle finger as a base, I know after all of that, all the other ones are smaller. So I start with the pointer finger. After that, I start with the pointer finger. Is the third biggest, so it makes it easier to be a marker for the pinky, because I know the pinky is going to be the smallest overall, so I know it's going to be as bigger. Then I ended up with the ring finger, as you call it. The thumb, I really don't have a specific way to do the thumb. I just do an arch, and then I curve it at the top, and then I do another arch, and then connect it at the end. And for the rest, I just do lines, nothing really too special. And then I do the little grooves, like for the knuckles. As you can see, if you do like cat paws, you can see where the knuckle is. So usually the same thing. I use the middle finger as a base for all of them. I start with the middle finger, then I do the ring finger, use that one for the pinky, and then I ended off with the ring finger. And then I try to bulk them out like little cylinders, but they're not cylinders. They're not perfect cylinders, what I want to say. But I try to get the general shape, like skinnier at the top, and thicker at the bottom. And you see me here just struggling and doing the thickness of the finger, getting them right. I still don't like how this came out, but I moved on. You can't deal with it. Just try to get it as best as you can. But it was difficult. Still looks kind of weird. Trying to get the final details in. Trying to trying to connect everything, make everything look a little bit nicer. I do like how the thumb came out. But yeah, it was just difficult. And also I noticed that there is like some skin between the fingers, and I'm trying to portray that, but it just makes, when I draw it, it makes the hands look very fat and bloated. But yeah, and also the knuckles, I don't know how to really interpret the knuckles. I don't really know how to really show that, but this is as best as I can do for now. So now I'm gonna show you me doing open palm. Same thing. I start off with a circle, then I do the box. It's just the same thing mirrored, and then I leave a little space for the thumb again. It's always a little out, and because I have the palm right there, it's just flipping it. I could use that as a marker. I can see, yeah, you see me right there doing it. And then once again I draw the 4 circles for where the thumbs are gonna go. I drew it too close together, so I gotta spread them out. You don't want to draw the circles too close. You want to spread them out because it's more natural like that. And then I start with the middle finger, because I have that one. I can use that one as a little guide. I can see how tall the fingers are gonna be. Start off with the middle finger, and once again they go down. Nothing's taller than the middle finger. And then I use the pointer finger, and then I use that one as a guide for the pinky. Same thing once again as the other one. You already saw me doing this. Doesn't really change much once again, the thumb, I just do an arch, and then I curve it at the top, and then I do another half circle, I guess you can say. And I know because the palm of the hand has a little meat right there, the little muscle, I know it's gonna be a little bumpy, and it also has the grooves on top of your fingers where they start. And yeah, that's pretty much all of my knowledge I have of me drawing hands without a reference. Well, you can say my hand is the reference, but still, you know what I'm trying to say. And now I'm trying to make the fingers thicker, trying once again drawing the grooves of my fingers as markers, doing the base. I know it's gonna be thicker than the top, make them thicker at the base, and then make them skinnier at the top. Still, once again, struggling just to do fingers. I'm not comfortable doing fingers. I feel like every time I draw them, they come out bad. Like, I don't know, I just can't draw them all and make them look like they belong to the same hand. And right now I'm just doing the finishing touches, doing the little muscle you can see right there in your fingers. And then I know there's still grooves in your fingers that you can do, but I don't know, I just don't know how to really convey that in a drawing. I'm gonna show you how I do it with the reference. Right, here it is. This is the one with reference and the one without reference. You can see that for the backhand, like this, I didn't draw the nails. I forgot to do that, so I'm gonna just leave it like that because I usually don't draw the nails. With reference, the knuckles have this little tendon right here. You can see the difference. Yeah, and the muscle right here. I think I drew the thumb better here than I drew it in either of these. Yeah, that's me. This is how I stand right now, with reference and without. But I want to learn how to get better in drawing hands. So I have this book. I've been going through this. If you follow me, I've been doing an anatomy series as a short, and I draw a page every time. But it also has this whole section up to here. This whole thing right here, up to here, is all about hands. You look at that little muscle right, not no muscle, the little bone right there. That will help me out a lot if I draw that. I feel like I try to do that, not really, but yeah, I know if I use this book and do the whole thing, this whole thing, it also tells you how to draw fingers. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna just be following this book and watching a little bit of YouTube to see what other artists do and their technique, but mostly it's gonna be this book. So this is how it is, and at the end of this whole challenge of drawing hands, I'm gonna see how I stand, and I'm gonna redraw everything in this page right here, open hand and all of that. All right, here we go. For the first couple of days, I leaned on the book a lot. I learned quite a lot from this page too. I learned that this bone that's always protruding from the opposite side of your thumb. That's how I usually keep track of it. And just from that little detail helped me a lot. It really made my hands look better and more realistic, I guess you can say. And I also learned that the hand and the arm aren't just in a straight line. All of which the arm and the wrist bends a little, and then the hand goes in a slight angle. For the next day, this is a lot of good useful information. The thickness of the wrist is similar to the thickness of the area of the middle fingers, the three middle fingers, the index, the middle, and the ring finger, which is insane because it's true. I measured it with my hand, and yes, it is the same width and thickness. It was just crazy. By already having the measurement of the wrist and palm the same width and everything figured out, now there's only left is to draw the pinky and the thumb. The book said that you can add these to add a lot of volume and shape to your hand, which it was kind of difficult for me to understand, but I think I kind of get it. The book said that the four fingers will always have the shape and curve of a fan spread out, which in hindsight, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but it's still kind of odd. Maybe because I'm still new at this, but yeah, it goes all the way to your index and to your pinky, making an open fan shape. For this day, I learned how to draw the lower part of the palm connected to your pinky. If you can see, there's a little bit of muscle there, and from the side view, it's kind of a little puffed out. So I was told to draw that a little bit more exaggerated with more curves to it. And for me personally, I don't think it looks as natural, or maybe with more practice it will look more natural, but I think I did this one too big and like a little bit more puffed out than usual. All right, for this day, I ended up drawing hands because, as you know, all I've been doing is just practicing, and I'm trying to put that practice into practice. Drawing and copying from the book really won't help me. I had to actually do it. So I drew these hands, and I drew 9 more. I drew 9 hands in total. I'm sorry. And this is what I ended up figuring out. I struggle a lot while doing fingers. I don't know how to do fingers. I noticed that are really difficult for me. Like right here. What is that? That's supposed to be a finger? This was just, yeah, I just struggled in doing fingers. And fingernails. Fingernails is a whole different thing. I can't do fingernails like at all. It's very awkward for me to implement them. When I do hands, it makes it look like I don't know what I'm doing with right there. Yeah, and the knuckles. I also figured out I can't do fingernails, fingers, and knuckles. Knowing that, I know what I gotta work on. I'm about to see YouTube. I'm about to look at a YouTube of how other artists figure out how to do hands and their methods they use, and I'm gonna try to use that. I started with this one. This one went out the page. I tried to do the fan method from a couple pages ago. From this one, it told me to spread the fingers like a fan, that it will only go from here to here, and it will be like a fan. So I try to implement that for the first finger, but it went off page. Once again, try to do it again. They all don't go over the things I learned. I don't like waste time finding an image that implemented everything. So I just drew 10 hands that I found on Pinterest. These two implement the fan technique that I use, and I use that also. It has a little bone right here sticking out. Right here, number 8 was the fan. And number 9, a little bit of the fan. Fingernails, nails, and knuckles. That's what I'm gonna be practicing. But right now I'm about to see how other YouTubers and artists with more experience than me, how they practice doing hands. So here we go. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I was planning to watch 2 videos this day, but I only ended up watching one. And it was by this artist and YouTuber, some normal artist. This is the video I saw, and I was ready to talk shit about it and say that this was a bad tutorial, but just listen to what he says.
The first thing I want you to do is look at your reference and visualize the overall shape of it by drawing simple, disjointed lines to replicate the outline of your reference. Try to make a line for each major bump and curve you notice in your hand. Doing this method makes it easier to adjust your proportions based on your character's body type because of how everything is represented as a simple line. Once you're happy with your outline, we can now move on to drawing the inside of our sketch. To make this process easier, understand that this idea of drawing the outline first can apply to literally anything that you sketch. For example, if you have fingers that are grouped up inside of your hand, draw their overall shape the same way you just did previously, and then add the lines to separate them.
At first I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? That video was directed for beginners, and he said something that sounded complicated, is to draw the overall shape and silhouette of the hand with no details, and later on you fill in with the same method, just draw the overall shape of the fingers. I was like, fuck it. I took the time to watch the video, might as well just try it once. And I did it once. And it turned out pretty well. I was like, oh shit, that must have been a fluke. So I did it again, and once again it was easy, and I did it again. Holy shit, I was like, is this the method? And drawing the silhouette and then fill it in with the fingers. I was like, holy fuck, it was so much easier. It was so much faster. And I feel like I got the shape of it correct. It's crazy to say, but if you want to draw hands correctly, draw the silhouette first. It was insane. And I didn't watch another video. Spoilers, that's the only video I saw, and I stuck with that method the whole video. And to dig right in a little bit more, he had a section on how to draw fingernails, and the way he said it was so simple. This is what he said.
There might be a point where your hand looks a little flat, so there are some easy things we can do to add more volume to your hand. The first and easiest way is just to replicate the creases of your hand. This isn't that important for now since we're going to be coloring these instead, but just so it looks more 3D, it's nice to add them in now. The second and one of the best ways is to draw the nails in your sketch. Nails convey where the front of your fingers are, which can help viewers visualize the form of your hand. Focus specifically on curving the bottom and top of the nails to follow the cylindrical form of your finger, and the sides of the nail should face where the finger is pointing at. As you can see, adding the nail helps a lot with adding visual clarity to your hand, since you can easily recognize each finger's orientation and position.
Okay, here's me doing it with the video. Like I said, it's I get the shape of it, the silhouette, and then I do the details. This was the first one. I thought it was a fluke, so I redid it, and I actually use the same reference by accident. I do the same hand. Here it is by doing the silhouette, just the silhouette, and here it is me doing it how I usually do it, sketch it out, build it, and do all of that. You can see this is closer to the reference than this, and they're the same hand. This one looks like it's fuller. This one's way too skinny and small. This one's big and plump and like actually looks like how a real hand will look. And the video did have something for your fingernails. It was so simple. He made it so easy for me to understand, and I think going forward I'm gonna just watch that video and just use that. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much information, you know. But yeah, fingernails, I know how to do that now. I'm not like an expert, but it's pretty basic. It's not that hard to learn. Yeah, but I think I'm pretty confident with fingernails now. Here are the other hands. They're all the same thing, trying to do silhouettes. I think I redo some of the hands from here. No, I didn't. Yeah, they're different hands. I only copied one. But yeah, look at these. They all look pretty solid, pretty good. The only one is this one right here. That's a fucked up finger. But overall, they all look pretty amazing. This is a pretty good technique. And I think this one was faster than me doing these right here. These took like, I don't know, like an hour to do all of them. All of these 9. And these took like half the time just to do. Not even an hour. I think this took like 20 minutes for all of this. And they're like 6, I think. 4, 5, yeah, 6. And I think I learned more from this than just doing this, because I also learned how to do fingernails, and that was an amazing just learning how to do that. And this was so easy. Yeah, 10 out of 10 video. Would recommend. If you want to learn how to draw hands, follow his tutorial. Yeah. Sorry if I'm glazing him too much. It was just so good. Going back to the book, I was learning that the pinky is connected to the hand by a lump of fat that it has. So it's always going to be a little jutted out, but you only be able to tell if the palm is facing to the side. I also learned that dividing the palm into 2 equal parts horizontally and 3 equal parts vertically gives you the perfect measurements to draw, in my opinion, a perfect hand. I think I started noticing that everything in your hand or body is connected, because it seems like everything measures to some piece of your body. Like the 3 fingers gonna be as big as your wrist, and it's cool that we evolved with such specific measurements. And sticking with measurements, the middle finger is exactly the same length as the back of the palm or front of the palm. When drawing from a different perspective, the length of the hand is adjusted by predicting the length of the palm or back of the hand in the length of the middle finger. Which I'm trying to say is that the middle finger is always going to be the same length as the palm. Just try to adjust from different perspectives. The length of the back of the hand is the same length of the middle finger, and the width of the back of the hand is the same length of the index finger. When it's difficult to determine the length of the back of the hand by perspective, the length of the finger can be provided by the width of the back of the hand. This whole section right here, these whole 2 pages are going to be about fingers. I was excited to learn about this one because as you know, I'm not very good at drawing fingers. I paid extra attention, and it said that when you have your hand, make sure to leave some space in between your fingers to have it a more relaxed and natural look to it. And about the thumb, when the thumb is stretched out, make sure to really show the mass of it and the difference between the thickness between the fingers and the thumb. This one's still about the thumb. Notice how thick I made it. I didn't make it too thick. I didn't exaggerate it that much, but it's there. You can really tell how big it is, and it bulges out. And to draw the fingers realistically, make sure to draw the first finger bone going into different directions. It gives you a more natural look, and usually that's how your hand works. All your fingers don't point to one direction. And with all that practice, I actually got to put that practice into use. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing hands, the same method. I'm just getting the shape, the silhouette of it, and then drawing it. These turned out amazing. Once again, amazing technique that I learned. I didn't watch any other videos, like I said. I just stick with that one, and it worked out for me. Look how good they look. They look pretty amazing. I like how this looks. Alright, the last day. Like I said I was gonna do, this is the first day of me drawing hands. This is I'm gonna do it right here. All I learned, I'm gonna do it without a reference right here, and then with a reference right here. Without a reference, with a reference. I am gonna use my hands. I don't think that counts as a reference because it's my hands. I have it with me attached every day, so I don't think that really matters if I do or don't use it. So I'm gonna see how much I improve in just practicing drawing hands. The main point I wanted to make in this, it was to draw fingers, nails, and knuckles, and I think I did pretty good in learning all of them. Once again, this isn't just like I already learned it, so I'm an expert now. No, I'm still learning. There's still other things I want to learn, and I still haven't even gone halfway through the book. There's still like a lot of pages that I didn't really do. So yeah, this is just like a starting off point, somewhere to like keep going in the future and practice. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing it without a reference right here and right now. Alright, there you have it. You saw me doing it without a reference. I just used my palm. By accident, I forgot, and I looked through the page. I looked through this page. By accident, I forgot I was doing it without a reference. But that's the only time I did that. For this one, I did use the practice pages when I did this. And that really did help. You can see the differences here. We're gonna start with this one without a reference. Just looking at my hand, you can see that the way I spread the fingers looks more natural. You always don't have your hand like this, like I have here. You have them usually more spread out. So that's what I try to do here. And knuckles, The way I draw knuckles really didn't change. It stayed very much the same, but I did draw the little tendon right here that moves around. And nails, I got very good at drawing nails. It wasn't really something very hard to do. I just saw, hold on, this page right here. I just remembered what to do here. I got it from that video I saw, and yeah, I just did that. And the thumb, once again, more elaborate here. And I also did the little bone sticking out right here. Oh, right here, my bad. The way I remember that is because it's always the opposite side of the thumb. So if the thumb's here, it's gonna be right here sticking out, the bone. So yeah, that really does help me. And right here, open palm. For the open palm, I didn't really remember what to do. I just know I had like the cartilage right here, the little muscle. You see me right here, I drew it here too. And I drew the little vein that goes here for these two. And I also, for both of them, right here, I drew the skin. But this one, I know that the skin, it usually looks like, you portray it more of as like a little V right there. I drew it here, but I forgot to do it with pen. I did with pencil. I erased the pencil, but yeah. And yeah, once again, I drew it like that, open palm, like your finger stretched out. And your fingers aren't gonna be like that. They're gonna be usually like that, pointing to other directions. And that one, these two were without reference. You can see me improving. I still gotta improve on fingers. That's something I still wanna do. And yeah, but yeah, that's without a reference. And this one right here, these are with reference, I'm sorry. And yeah, you can see the differences right here. For this one, I use, like I said, the pages I studied with. I used them all, or some of them, just certain ones. You can see me, I drew the nails. Once again, not that hard to do anymore for me. I did the knuckles. Oh, and I also don't draw all 4 knuckles because usually you can see the pinky knuckle. Only when you do that. You can mostly see these, and that's the ones I drew, because as you can see right here, I drew the all 4 knuckles, I'm sorry, and it looks too busy. It doesn't look good. So for this one, I only drew 3, and the tendons going through it. In the skin right here, I drew the little skin in between the fingers. The fingers are more skinny. I'm going to the top. And the nails, there's the bone. And right here, this is the open palm. The open palm, you can really tell the difference between the reference and without it, because you can see that I did the muscle and the little vein, and then there's little grooves right here, and the little this little part right here of the palm. I don't know what you'll call it, but yeah, I drew that. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Still have a long ways to go to be really comfortable drawing hands like it's nothing. But yeah, this is a pretty good improvement for just 10 days. It took me 10 days to do, and it was just fun. Like I said, there's still so many pages left. There's this many pages for just all hands, and I still haven't like gone to like making a fist. Yeah, the drawing knuckles are here. So I'm probably gonna do this like later down the line by myself, you know, just keep practicing. And this was fun to do. There was a lot of fun. And yeah, there it is. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for making it this far. And yeah, like I said, this is just a starting off point. I'm not going to stop practicing. I'm going to keep going and get better. And if you want to know how good I get, stick around. Also, sorry this video took longer. I wanted to post it like a week ago, but I started up class again. I got summer classes. And yeah, I really cut my time on doing what I really want to do, which is art. But what can you do? Life doesn't go always as planned. Like I said, please help me out. I'm pretty small. If you can, leave a like, a comment, and please subscribe. I am trying to reach my goal of 1,000 followers by the end of the year. And follow my other social media platforms. There I go by the same name, Brush Much Art. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, always be creating. Bye.
Skateboarding Bigfoot Studios.